Hi guys, welcome back to the Shannon Show podcast. Hello if you're new. So today's episode is going to be a review of Too Hot to Handle Season 1, Episode 7. So obviously continuing on from the last episode, Chloe and Cory have kissed, and Chloe at the beginning of the episode is quite optimistic about where their relationship is going. Bless her soul. So Chloe is gushing about her relationship with Cory in the confessional, saying that they have so much banter, she gets along so well with him, he's left her speechless and no one's done that before. But like I said in my last podcast, I really didn't see much substance in this relationship in terms of friendship level. I kind of just thought it was pure sexual attraction. So Chloe tells Ronda and Nicole that she kissed Cory, and they were both like, oh, that's, cute. But Ronda's face did not look impressed. It's like, she definitely was like, ugh. Ronda's face did not look impressed, which I thought was quite interesting because obviously she has broken the rules with Sharon. But I think Ronda was kind of thinking, well, in her head, her and Sharon had a connection and she wasn't sure if Cory and Chloe had a connection, and I think Ronda was definitely onto something. Maybe she had sussed Cory out and was kind of just thinking Chloe is being very naive right now. But that face was very telling. Then we cut to Cory and Harry having a conversation, and Cory basically says that he finds Chloe fit, but he's not here for commitment, and basically he was here to dip his dick wherever. That was his goal coming onto this show. And you know what? Cory is a joker. He's saying, it's not my fault that Chloe found me beautiful and thought that more was going to happen in this relationship. That's her fault, not mine. And you know what? That is a little bit savage, but I'm not going to lie. I think it's true. I definitely think Cory was chatting a load of shit, selling Chloe dreams on the first episode. But again, it was only day one. It's not like he said, I like you, Chloe, and I like only you. So I think Chloe was definitely being naive in that situation. But of course, it's very cheeky for him to entertain Chloe in that way, knowing it's very clear that he knows that Chloe is going into this relationship, entertaining him, kissing him, thinking, okay, this is going to be a relationship where it's just going to be the two of us for the remainder of this time we have together. So I think it's very cheeky. I'm here for the messy drama, and of course I knew when he was saying that, I knew he was going to be up to some mischief. So interestingly, Harry is supportive of Cory and basically says, yeah, you're here, do whatever you want, go for it. But obviously in his head, he wasn't thinking he was going to be going for Francesca. So in his mind, the insecure part of Harry, who we've seen, didn't even think to say, well, not my Francesca, because he kind of just thought Cory would have this respect for him to not go for his woman. And of course, Cory's in the confessional like, oh, bro code, I'm not going to go for Francesca, even though I think she's the fittest girl in the house. And I was just thinking, sure, Cory. And literally 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, we see Cory going up to Francesca, being a little bit cheeky, being a bit flirty with her. So I was just like, okay, this is definitely going to cause some drama between Harry and Francesca. I'm definitely here for it. You guys already know I don't like them as a couple. I wish nothing but unsuccessful things for them. It's very cheeky from Cory, but he said it in the confessional and not to Harry's face. It's not like he went up to Harry and was like, oh, don't worry, you've got nothing to worry about, I'm not going to talk to Fran, and then went back on his word. He kind of just went back on his word in the confessional, which is slightly better. But I think at the end of the day, Cory is entitled to explore who he wants to explore. At the end of the day, these are very short-term relationships, and he's only known Harry like 24 hours, so there's not really any real loyalty there. And another thing is, I don't care who steps over Harry. If anything is going to get Harry sweating, Harry stressed, I'm here for it. So Ronda drops a bit of big news in this episode. She reveals that she has a son, but she is not ready to reveal to Sharon that she has a son. In her real life, she says that she has to wait until she's really sure about somebody before revealing that she has a son. Of course, that's very understandable, like, as a mother. But I think we already knew she was going to tell Sharon in this episode. And I was just kind of thinking, obviously, in that world, they literally just have nothing but each other. They don't have any other source of entertainment. So of course their relationships are going to be very intense, but it's still a short-term relationship. So I'm kind of just thinking, in terms of them as a couple, I still feel like it was still early days for them. So I was kind of just thinking, I'm not sure how Sharon is going to take this. So I was just kind of waiting to see Sharon's reaction. And then of course the Cory drama starts to pick up. He gets to choose someone for a date, and obviously he's already had a connection with Chloe. He's already told Chloe if he had to pick somebody to go on a date, he was going to pick her. But of course he showed interest in Fran, and you know, we see him kind of thinking, who should I pick? Who should I pick? You know, Fran could be a risky one, but I like to take risks. Like, you know, will I regret it if I don't go there? Chloe is a sure thing, but you know, I'm not really here to play it safe. And he picks Fran. I knew he was going to pick Fran, and I was definitely here for it. Of course, when Fran finds out, Harry is definitely looking a bit nervous, a bit stressed. He's in the confessional like, damn, Cory. Obviously, he encouraged Cory to do whatever he wanted, but he didn't think he was going to step on his toes. He's probably thinking, this little shit. It's very interesting how Harry had nothing to say about Cory's personal appearance this time, like he did with Kel's, which I thought was quite interesting. But anyway, and Fran is just kind of like, should I go on the date? Should I not? Harry's kind of just like, you know, don't go on the date, you know, you can refuse. Harry definitely didn't want her to go on the date. And then Sharon and Rhonda pipe up, and they're like, you know, if you guys are solid, it shouldn't matter if she goes on a date with somebody or not. And if anything, it will test your relationship. And obviously, and I know Harry is just thinking, shut the fuck up. Nobody asked you. Fran decides to go on the date. Then we see Fran and Cory on the date. And like I said, I'm messy. I was here for the drama. And it was looking promising, you know. Fran was definitely teasing us. She was telling Cory that he was hot, that he's her type. You know, it's very tempting. Cory, he's being cheeky, he's being flirty. It looks like they're having a good time. In terms of chemistry, I thought it was definitely more on a personality level, their chemistry, rather than sexual chemistry. But I don't think Francesca even has sexual chemistry with Harry anyway. I was hoping that Cory was going to at least tempt Fran. Maybe they'd kiss, and that would cause some drama between her and Harry. Obviously, Cory is trash. We know he's trash. But I think out of the trash between Harry and Cory, I think Fran definitely probably wouldn't have any success in the love department with him. But for the simple fact, Harry would be unhappy for the rest of the season. I wanted something to happen between them. But what do you guys think? Did you want something to happen? Were you here for the potential drama? Or are you a Harry and Francesca stan? Or do you think, like, out of the trash, Harry is the better piece of trash? Let me know. So obviously, Fran doesn't bite the bullet. She definitely teased us. And she says that she wants to be with Harry. Found something rare with Harry. So she's not going to risk her relationship. And I was just like, Fran, you are boring and you are weird. And you are brainwashed to be calling Harry, of all people, perfect and rare. I'm really confused. I really don't get it. So, you know, Cory, he put up a good fight. I respect the hustle. But obviously we know he can't go back to Chloe now. Obviously back in the house, we see Harry was nervous about the date. He was definitely nervous about them going on the date, which is funny because we see him saying, oh, you know, he's not nervous. He's not worried about it. He knows him and Fran are solid. But literally, as soon as she left, he was sweating. He was nervous. He was stressed. He's saying if anything happens, he's going to pack his bags and leave. And when he said he was going to pack his bags and leave if Fran stepped out of their relationship, I was like, I'd love to see it. I really would. But yeah, it was definitely funny. Obviously, Harry tries to act like he's this confident guy, but we all know he's really insecure. And of course, we see Rhonda break the news to Chloe that Cory has taken Fran out on a date instead of her. The disrespect. So Chloe is obviously pissed off. She's upset. She's crying. She's been led on. She feels like she's been cock-blocked by Fran, and she says that they both lack morals. As I said before, I feel like I'm not sure if I can feel sorry for Chloe because it's just so naive. Like, this is textbook behaviour. You can't believe the things that these boys say to you on day one, because 90% of the time, and they said this hundreds of times to different girls. So I feel like maybe it's because Chloe was living in this bubble. Maybe she was really horny and she was challenging this energy into wanting to feel appreciated and wanted. But Chloe, you are stupid. You are stupid for believing that. Sorry. she's stupid, I have to say. And it's also very clear that she just never liked Francesca because, you know, a date is just a date. It's two people getting to know each other. It doesn't have to be sexual. So when she was talking about they both like Morris, aka Francesca, I feel like it was very loaded and it's very clear that she didn't like Francesca. But as I've said in my prior podcast, I definitely think that she likes Harry, or she still likes Harry, and she feels like Francesca got in the way of that. So now she has this new relationship. He's picking Fran over her. So now she kind of feels like, well, Fran is the root cause of her happiness. Fran doesn't want her to be happy. You know, why is Fran always being put above me? So I think there was definitely an element of insecurity and jealousy there. In that moment, I think she definitely was justified in going off at Cory because he actually did lead her on. But I feel like there was nothing wrong with Francesca going on a date, I think. I personally don't think there was anything wrong with Francesca going on a date. But what do you guys think? Can you see things from Chloe's point of view? Do you understand why she's taking it out on Fran because heightened emotions here? Or do you feel like Chloe has always had a problem with Francesca? She was jealous of Francesca. It shows that she's insecure. What is your guys' assessment on that whole outburst that she had? So obviously after the date, Chloe, again, it's just very telling. Chloe decides to go to Francesca first. She doesn't go to Cory. She goes to Francesca first, which again is very telling. And she says that Francesca is sly. She says that they thought they were close. She says that she doesn't want to talk to her. She doesn't want to see her. And it's very clear that she's pressed. And again, she doesn't even know what happened on this date. Like I said, dates don't have to be sexual. So again, I just think it was very loaded. And what was also very telling is that she was saying, you can continue to carry on leading on Harry. And like I said, bingo, what did I say? She likes Harry and she feels like Francesca got in the way of that, and now she's doing that again. Even though, like I said, nothing even happened on that date. But what do you guys think? Do you feel like because they were relatively close, Francesca should have refused to go on that date out of respect for Chloe? Or do you feel like Francesca was more than entitled enough to go on a date? Before the date, she doesn't really know how she feels about the guy to even let Chloe know about anything. I think just coming off the bat, you don't even know what's happened on the date, and then just accusing her of all of these things. It's very clear that Chloe has had an issue with Francesca for a while. So all of this, I thought we were close stuff, is bullshit, because it's very clear that Chloe did not like Francesca. I never liked Francesca, and it's very clear that that whole interaction, she just wanted to get things off of her chest. And another telling thing in that interaction is that Francesca basically nodded her head. She didn't even defend herself. She didn't say, well, nothing happened on the date, like it was just all friendly, it was an innocent date, you've got nothing to worry about, so why are you coming at me? I think she just nodded her head and accepted it because she knows that Chloe has a problem with her. She knows that Chloe is jealous of her. So she just thought, let me just give her this moment to vent. Again, what do you guys think of that situation? Do you think Fran was a snake here, or do you feel like Chloe was overreacting? She's being very entitled. She's being very immature. What do you guys think? And what do you guys think of Chloe confronting Francesca first? Do you feel like that was justified, or do you feel like she should have confronted Cory first? Let me know what you guys think. And then also, side note, the next day, Francesca's whispering to Harry saying, look, Chloe's wearing my bikini, the little shit. Excuse me? You're telling me Chloe is being petty by taking Francesca's bikini and wearing it? First thing, hygiene. I just think it's disgusting to be wearing somebody else's bikini. I'd like to think that it was washed, that it was clean, that it was unused. But still, I think it's very disgusting just to be taking other people's bikinis, like where people's vaginas have been. I just think it's nasty. I mean, other clothes, okay, but bikini, like with the bottoms as well, So the girls have their little, inner growth challenge, and it's basically like this genitalia empowerment thing where they look at their genitalia and they praise it, and it's all about uplifting and empowering yourself. And everybody's saying that they're powerful, they love themselves, and how they're not just going to give it up to everyone. Ronda reveals to the girls that she's had a baby, and of course it's very clear now that any minute now she's going to tell Sharon about the child, because obviously it's public knowledge now. Fran does some self-reflecting and, you know, says that she needs to be a bit more sensitive to other people. And Fran basically does some self-reflecting and says that she needs to be a bit more sensitive to other people. But yeah, I'm here for the growth challenge. I think it definitely had a great message. I'm definitely here for these self-reflection challenges. And then after the challenge, obviously Chloe has hyped herself up. I thought that low-key she was probably going to get back with Cory, just let it slide. But obviously she confronts him. She says that she's been led on, calls him out. She says that he's muggy. You know, he said that, you know, he wanted to take her on the date and then he took out Fran. And Cory basically defends himself. He denies he's been muggy. He basically says, well, it's you who thinks I've been muggy. I don't think I've been muggy, but because you think I'm muggy, I'm obviously muggy. Being very defensive, the typical trash lad who deflects, doesn't want to own up, doesn't want to take responsibility. Very immaturely is like, well, I don't want to be with you anyway, even though it was very clear that Chloe was just about to break things off. But it's one of those things where, you know, he wanted to be the one to say it first. Chloe was basically like, well, I'm not even going to give you the opportunity to be with me. So, yeah. And then he basically just storms off. That was a nice little argument. I was definitely here for the drama. Cory was definitely chatting shit. Cory was definitely chatting on. But like I said, Chloe was stupid for believing him. And then we see Ronda tell Sharon about her son. And Sharon's reaction was very interesting. He paused a bit and then he was like, it's dope. And then in the confessional, he's saying, you know, he can't wait to meet the son. And I was just like, Sharon, it's not by force. Like, you could see in his face, he was just thinking, a son? A son? Like I said in the beginning, I feel like it was way too early to be introducing a son into this equation. I think it was way too early to introduce the son into the equation, especially if it's a thing where it's like, okay, as soon as we get back to wherever we are at, you're going to meet my son, I'm going to introduce you to the son. I feel like, you know, Sharon is happy to be in this bubble with Ronda, but I think he's definitely going to jump ship when he comes out. Obviously, we know he's got commitment issues. Your partner having a child is a very big thing in a relationship. There's levels to that type of commitment, because not only do you have to maintain a relationship with your partner, but you also have to maintain a relationship with your partner's son. And where they are at in their relationship right now, I don't think Sharon is ready for that. And I definitely think he was lying through his teeth when he was acting like he was here for it. But of course, it wouldn't have been a good look if he was just like, I don't know how I feel about that. So I can definitely understand why he was lying. We see Fran apologise to Chloe for not being as sensitive for the whole situation, and says in hindsight, yes, she was being selfish and insensitive. I still stand by the fact that I don't think Fran did anything wrong. Granted, yes, it is selfish, but I just don't think it's that deep. I really don't. Notably, Chloe doesn't actually accept her apology. We hear her say, I'm not angry with you anymore. But I'm not angry with you anymore is not I forgive you, let's move past this. It's just that I'm not angry about the situation anymore. So it's very clear that Chloe still doesn't like Francesca, and as I suspect, she never liked Francesca in the first place. Then we see David and Lydia progress. They have a kiss. It's not been greenlit, so they've lost the house some money. And then we see Francesca and Harry in the bedroom, and they both drop the L-bomb. They both say that they love each other, and there's some funny business going on under the cover. So we already know, again, there's a cash loss. And honestly, I'm still confused. I really don't know what spell Harry has put on Francesca. I really don't know what spell it is. I gotta know. And then obviously the next day, the contestants are brought into the living room to reveal the rule breaks. So Lana reveals that Chloe and Cory kissed, which cost them 3k. She reveals that David and Lydia kissed, which cost them 3k. Fran is congratulated for her restraint on the date. And all of this congratulations on your growth and all of this shit from Lana, I really don't care about it. I'm not sure what the benefit of having these quote unquote achievements broadcasted actually brings to the show. And then Lana reveals how much Harry and Francesca's night under the covers has cost the house, which was 6k. But this time they don't say who it was. Again, I'm confused by this inconsistency. I just feel like you should either say the names of the perpetrators all the time or not at all, and people have to guess. Francesca and Harry do admit that it was them, And obviously it was a 6k charge, and we basically find out that Fran gave Harry a blowjob. Again, I really don't know how he's managing to get all of this out of Francesca. I would have thought it would be the other way around, if anything. But yeah, like I said, Harry has got this spell over Francesca. He's been putting something into her tea. I'm sure of it. What was quite interesting is that people seem to take the kisses well. Even when they saw Lydia and David kiss, people were cheering. Charles is obviously just in the corner. He actually looks like he is actually done and over everyone in that house. But when it was revealed the whole 6k from Harry and Francesca, there seemed like there was a bit more disappointment in the room. And I think maybe it's because they don't like Francesca. That's what I'm assuming. But there was definitely a different dynamic between the kiss reveals and the Harry and Francesca reveals. And that was the end of the episode, and then we're going into the finale. And at this point, I'm kind of just thinking, what is actually the point of this cash prize? Because, like I said, people don't seem to care. There's only like a few people that seem to care. Everybody else doesn't care. It's like everybody in this house comes from a rich family. There's not enough poor people on this show, I think. So as we speak, I'm preparing this edit. I am going to drop the finale episode today, so stay tuned for that. I'd recommend subscribing and putting my post notifications on so you know as soon as it dropped. But I feel like at this point there's interesting elements, but I'm starting to not enjoy it as much as I enjoyed it at the beginning, to be honest, because the incentive of money is just not there. There's not enough money hungry people in the house, and it's annoying me. But yeah, let me know what you thought of this episode. Let me know what you thought of my thoughts. You might as well subscribe. And till next time, guys. Bye.